You didn't decide to spend money with Apple this month. It just left. Storage, music, the app you bought 2 years ago. You said yes once. Apple collected forever. Think about the day you set it up. Photos synced, contacts moved, AirPods connected before you finished. It felt like the phone was already yours before you even chose it. That feeling was the strategy. Not to impress you, to attach you. Every smooth connection made one thing slightly more true. Leaving would cost more than staying. But you didn't think about that. Nobody does on day one. You were thinking about the camera, the screen, the weight of it in your hand. Apple was thinking about year 3, year 5, year 10. That's the first difference between you and the system you just entered. At some point, maybe 6 months in, maybe 2 years, you thought about switching. Better camera on another brand, lower price, someone showed you something different. You went into settings, started the backup process. Then you stopped. Not because someone told you to, because you saw what was there. 5 years of photos stored in iCloud, Apple's cloud, not yours. A decade of messages formatted, threaded, organized in a way that doesn't survive the move. Notes, voice memos, reminders, screen time data. 3 subscriptions running monthly that have no equivalent on the other side. You looked at all of it, and you closed the app. Kept the phone. Most people think that moment is loyalty. It isn't. It's the cost of exit becoming higher than the cost of staying. Apple designed that moment before you ever unboxed the phone. That hesitation, that exact second where you closed the settings, is worth more to Apple than the $1,000 you paid on day one. Because it means they don't have to sell you anything ever again. They just have to wait. Here's what most people miss about how Apple actually makes money. The phone is not the business. The phone is the door. Once you walk through it, once you sync your first photo, connect your first device, subscribe to your first service, the real system begins. Most companies operate on a simple model. Make a product, sell it, hope you buy the next one. That model requires them to keep winning. Every year, every product cycle, every competitor release. Apple doesn't operate that way. Apple operates on a different question entirely. How do we make the exit more expensive than the stay? Once that's solved, you stop competing, you start collecting. $2 a month for storage that fills up quietly. $15 for music you spent 3 years building a library in. A percentage of every app purchase, every in-app transaction, every subscription running through their system. Small, monthly, invisible. You don't feel it leaving. Most months, you don't even see it on the statement. That's not negligence on your part. That's engineering on theirs. The friction of leaving is not accidental. It was designed in layers, hardware, software, cloud, and social, each one making the next slightly harder to abandon. iCloud ties your data. iMessage ties your social thread. AirPods and Apple Watch tie your body. The App Store ties your spending history. Each layer added value when you joined it. Each layer adds cost when you try to leave. That's not a product, that's an architecture, and you're living inside it. Most businesses measure success in units sold. Apple measures something that doesn't appear on most financial dashboards: the depth of integration per customer. How much of your life runs through their system? How many of your habits depend on their infrastructure? How many people in your life are on the same network? Because every person in your contact list using iMessage is one more reason you stay. Every shared album, every airdrop, every family subscription, you didn't just lock yourself in, you helped lock the people around you in. And here's where it compounds. The longer you stay, the more you build. The more you build, the higher the exit cost. The higher the exit cost, the less Apple has to do to keep you. They don't need a better product next year. They need a stable system today. That's why Apple's services revenue, the money made after the sale, crossed $100 billion annually. Not from selling more phones, from people who already bought one and found it too expensive to leave. You are not a customer in this model. You are a recurring revenue line.
And the remarkable thing is, you built that position for them. Every sync, every subscription, every year you stayed. Apple didn't win because they made the best phone. They won because they made the one that turns every year you own it into a reason to never leave. That's not a product strategy. That's an architecture control. And the people who understand how it's built don't just see Apple differently. They see every subscription, every free trial, every just connect your account as the same move. Different company, same system. There's a specific way this architecture gets designed before the product exists, before the pricing is set. That's the next breakdown.